My presentation today is going to be on deforestation. Deforestation is when people cut down trees or clear land. 31% of Earth is covered by land. People usually cut down these areas, these forest areas and trees for urban use, or they'll build ranches or farms or just other things that I guess they think would be more of use than the trees being there. The technical definition for deforestation is the action of clearing wide areas of trees. Effects of deforestation. There are obviously a few different effects of deforestation. For example, erosion, global warming, water cycles, pollution, water pollution as well, and also loss of species. So because all these areas get cut down, all these land areas get cut down, therefore some animals do lose their natural habitats. Also, erosion. Erosion is without the tree, roots act as an anchor to the soil. Erosion can occur and sweep into the soil and into the rivers. The crops that people plant often don't have strong enough roots to hold the soil together. So I don't know if you've ever seen, but like trees that sometimes grow into the concrete or like into the sidewalk areas start to crack the land or like the cement that's right there. It usually starts to do that only because the trees don't have strong enough soil to I guess like to make sure that they are going to stay there and to hold them in their in that tree's home. So the roots spread out and try and find like other places to hold itself down. Global warming, as I mentioned before, is also an effect of deforestation. Forest trees actually help prevent like so much carbon dioxide from being all up in the air. Without the trees, that obviously lets more carbon dioxide up in the air, and it creates more extreme weather patterns, and which causes like warmer summers and like colder winters. I know personally, like from where I'm from, there's not as many trees in that area, and like it's actually pretty insane because like the winters like get really cold there, and the summers obviously get really hot. But I've been to like a different state where they have so many more trees and the air is just like so much clearer, or like the temperature is more like I guess regular in a way. Loss of species. I kind of already went over this. That's just like I said, like with forest lands being cut down, it affects the animals that are living in those areas, and unfortunately because of that, these animals go extinct because they have nowhere else to live. I know some animals try and like make their way down to like city areas, and unfortunately, like obviously they can't live down in the city areas, and people call like animal animal patrol kind of. Yeah, well, you know what I mean. Or like these animals unfortunately get hit by cars, or people for whatever reason feel the need to either kill them, or like I said, call someone to get these animals out of that area. The water cycle. These are important to the water cycle only because trees are important to the water cycle only because they absorb the rainfall and produce water vapor that is released into the atmosphere. So without trees, basically there can be a lot of flooding in the areas. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but like whenever like it's raining, some areas do have like flooding warnings and some areas don't, and honestly that is due to the lack of trees in some areas. Water pollution. Trees actually help reduce water pollution because when they're catching the rainfall, which we already went over, so as trees catch the rainfall, it kind of eliminates like the like if there's trash in an area and if there's flooding in the area as well, that flooding eventually will lead somewhere, usually to the ocean. And that's how all this garbage like ends up in the oceans or in lake areas, any like water areas. Um, so trees really do benefit us in like so many different ways. Um, let's see. Uh, Different ways that you can like help out is by becoming a tree hugger. And a tree hugger is basically just someone who either like protects or helps prevents like trees being cut down. Different ways to become a tree hugger, in a sense, is by planting trees. So for every tree we lose, you would always plant a tree, and it kind of like, I guess not necessarily will like even it out in a way, but it can definitely help. What's it called? Just by planting a tree, like I said, will make up for that tree that we lost, either from someone like cutting it down or being burned in like a forest fire. So that's one way to help. Going paperless is another way to help. As we know, paper does come from trees. A lot of places I've realized recently are starting to become more paperless or cashless. Like, I know a lot of restaurants are starting to do cashless, like they don't take cash anymore. Or receipts are starting to get emailed or to like text message. Schools also, like I've realized, are becoming more like online, I guess, in a way. Like all the books and stuff are now online rather than being so many paper books. Another way is recycling. Like recycling can definitely like cause not recycling can cause water pollution. As we know, there's a lot of plastic that ends up in the oceans and in the water areas. So just by recycling and doing your part can definitely help. Organic fertilizers. By using organic fertilizers, compost, trees and plants are found to be less prone to diseases and pests. This is especially when you are replanting trees. So a lot of fertilizers that people buy, like in the stores or like in garden stores as well, sometimes have like extra ingredients, I guess, that may actually be harmful to plants. And so using natural fertilizers will help plants and like all these plants and trees just grow to be stronger and